Okay, so cane processing. A lot of reed makers make their cane or make their reeds from scratch. When we order it, it comes in nice little tubes, kind of like this. As you can already tell, like, no two tubes are perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect tube. Okay, so what you need is some sort of like radius gauge. So this is again my Museco ruler, but it's got like these little ridges on the sides. This is for measuring the diameter of the cane. Okay, we call it a radius gauge. This is my cane splitter, and this is my gouger and guillotine combo. This is an RDG gouger, and this is the guillotine. Okay, so the first thing you got to do is, of course, try to find the most equal parts of the cane, and then slide this over this way. Once we do that, split it. Okay, now that I've got those split, what I like to look for is the flattest part of the cane. So I can tell that this one is a wee bit lifted on this side. So I'm definitely going to be cutting off quite a bit from that side. Okay. Then I even it out by cutting off from this side. Okay. This one. Now this one's got some issues. Not that much of an issue. And there. Okay. There. The nice thing about having a gouger and guillotine combo is that the length from here to where it gets cut off is exactly what goes into the gouger bed here. There. There. After a while, just looking at the pieces of the cane, you can kind of tell what are going to be the good ones, what are going to be the bad ones. Some reed makers like to go for like a color of cane, whether it's like a little purple or a little bit more golden. There was something about this piece I didn't like, so let's look at it first. Okay. Now I know that I'm going between 10 and 10 and a half, but sometimes it can be a little bit larger. See, this is a 10 and a half. See how it just glides right across, leaves very little open space below it. So that gets put into the 10 and a half pile. Just because you order, cane diameter 10 to 10 and a half doesn't mean that you won't get pieces that are like 9.75 or like 9 and a half, or all the way up to like 11 or 11.25, something like that. So just make sure you're watching out for that. This one, 10.25. This one is rather large. This one is gonna be more of a, 10.75. Yeah, that fits better there. Okay. Next is going to be pre-gouging. So it's been roughly 24 hours since I split this cane and sorted it, so it's time to pre-gouge it. I use a very straightforward push gouger. For this, you have to set it like right up against the table because it has a little small lip there. And you can't let it, do that, because then it'll just continue to push as you push. So, all right. The purpose of this step is to take your split piece of cane and thin it a little bit so that you can then gouge it. So I like to just set it on the bed, tap, tap, push. Okay. This one's set a little funny on the bed, I think. Nope, okay. Also, while it's on the bed, I like to check if it's gonna like sit okay. So again, I just put it right up against the blades, push, push, then push through. Which this one is gonna be garbage. Okay. So again, push, push. And you notice that I don't hold onto the piece of cane while I'm pushing it through the gouger. Holding it like that is one sure way to cut your fingers on the piece of cane. So you tap, tap, push. Okay, so it's been about 24 hours since I pre-gouged my cane, so now it's time to gouge it. I use an RDG gouger. And this RDG gouger also comes with a guillotine, which I used earlier in the video. To lubricate the rod here, I use gun oil. It's a lot less abrasive than other oils, and there's no additives, nothing like that. It protects against rust and friction, so it's pretty good to use for a mechanism like this. Okay. I also keep a piece of cloth right here on the gouger bed, just to protect the gouger blade and the bed. So I'll remove that, and I'll grab my piece of cane, set that down. Okay. One of the first things I look for is, you see how this one just clamps on the cane down? I like to see if it's like flat against the bed, and it is. So yay, no warping up or down. I also like to keep a couple of makeup brushes on hand to, clean makeup brushes on hand to clean off the gouger. And by clean, I mean there's no makeup on the brushes. All right. So okay, that feels like it's bottomed out there. I'll do one more pass there just to be safe, or rather, just because. Okay, I'll flip it over and I'll do 2 passes just to help even everything out. Then I take my micrometer and I measure the cane. I put it right in the center, and I'm looking for measurements between 0.59 and 0.61. This one's right at 0.61, so yay me. And I'll mark the cane as 0.61. This is a 10.25 diameter piece. And I also keep track of my cane. So this one is number 1206, and it is Luray cane. So that's more or less how I mark it. Alright, that's one that'll be ready to sit until I'm ready to shape it and tie it. One more. So this one's got a little bit of a bow off to my right side. That's okay, that's not the end of the world. Flip it around. That's why it's important to measure in the center, because the center is going to be a little bit thicker. This one's at 0.59. Makes sense because this one actually gouged fairly easily and quickly. This one is number 1207. Blu-ray. Okay. Hope that helped.